Dumela, we are going to be doing ratios. I will start by explaining what a ratio is. A ratio is a quantitative relationship between two or more amounts showing the number of times one value contains or is contained within the other. A ratio can be written in words, column form, or fraction form. In words, we can write it as 1:10. Column form, we can write it as 1:10 with columns in between. And we have, as a fraction form, it can be written as 1/10. A ratio, however, can be simplified. Many ratios can be written with smaller numbers. When you simplify a ratio, you're simply writing it in smaller numbers. This is called writing ratios in simplest form. Now, here's an example. You need to write the ratio of 54:72 in the simplest form. You will first prime factorize 54 and then prime factorize 72 and divide each part of the ratio by the highest common factor. Highlight the common bases and take the base with the lowest exponent to make it part of your highest common factor. So I simplified 54, which gave me 2 times 3 cubed, simplify 72, which gave me 2 cubed times 3 squared. You'll realize that 2 is common between 54. It's a common factor between 54 and 72, but I'm going to take the 2 with the lowest exponent, which is the 2 that is part of 54. When it comes to 3, it'll be 3, which is the factor of 72, because that is the only base of 3 that has the lowest exponent, which is 2. So your highest common factor will be 2 times 3 squared, which is 18. The first part of the ratio is 54. You will divide that 54 by 18. The second part of the ratio is 72. You will divide that 72 by 18, and that'll give you 3:4. That's how we simplify the ratio. 54:72 is equivalent to 3:4. Try this classwork. Before we try the classwork, let's just do example 2. Here we have the length of Mrs. Chirawi's class is 60 meters and the width of Mrs. Chirawi's class is 1,200 centimeters. We need to determine the ratio of the length to the width in simplest form. And they gave you a hint that 1 meter is equals to 100 centimeters. You will realize that the length of Mrs. Chirawi's class is given in meters, which is a different unit to centimeters. The width is in centimeters, and we can't compare numbers with different units. So we have to work with 1 unit. And we were given a clue that 1 meter is equals to 100 centimeters. So it's your choice whether you want to change centimeters to meters. So if you want to change that 1,200 centimeters to meters, you will just divide it by 100. So you'll end up having 60 meters is to 12 meters. Not 12 meters, 1.2 meters. Now, to avoid that, I will actually change the 60 meters to centimeters, and the 60 meters to centimeters will be 6,000 centimeters. So this will be 6,000 centimeters is to 1,200 centimeters. Find the highest common factor, which in this case will be 1,200, and divide both ratios by that 1,200. You will end up having 5:1. Okay, try out this classwork. Give yourself 10 minutes. Now the first one, which is 4:18, you will simply prime factorize 4:8, and then prime factorize 8. You will end up having 2 squared times, 2 squared and 3 squared, but your highest common factor will be 2 squared, which is 4. So you divide each part by 4, you end up having 1:2. In the second one, the highest common factor is 6. You will divide both parts by 6, and you'll end up having 1:3. For this one, the highest common factor will be 4 times 9, which is 36. You divide each part by 36. You will end up having 1:5:40. Try this classwork from your Mind Bond textbook. Kgotsong.